I want to talk about and hypothesize the role of engineering specifically, Black people's role in history in engineering and their developments and achievements. Just because it's Black History Month, and apparently it's also the time that we celebrate our engineers and our Black engineers. So I think it would be really cool for us to have that as our topic for today, you know, because I want us to be able to claim our space in the way that not only are we entering these rooms within our own right, but we're following in the steps of people before us that have also taken the initiative to claim their space.
Okay, yeah, sounds cool. Let's do it.
Black Hypothesis.
I want to talk about some of these people that have achieved in engineering and, you know, may not get the notice or the recognition they deserve, but we really want to pay attention and give them that acknowledgement now, since it is their month. Okay, so the first person I want to talk about is Mary Jackson.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Roger, the SATCOM ops folks would like to pass along their congratulations for a job well done.
Job well done indeed. Mary Jackson was an American mathematician and aerospace engineer at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. We now know that organization as the Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA.
Hey, okay.
She worked
spell that out
for NASA. Okay, and she worked in the Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia. She also she worked in the computing division. And after 34 years at NASA, she reached the epitome of her role there without being promoted to a supervisory role. And she took a demotion, surprisingly, to become the manager of both the Federal Women's Program in NASA, Office of Equal Opportunity Programs, and of the Affirmative Action Program. She worked to influence the hiring and promotion of women in NASA's science, engineering, and mathematical careers. Her story is featured in the 2016 novel, nonfiction book, actually, Hidden Figures. And they made a movie of that book. So she's one of those three protagonists that you see in the movie.
Okay. Yeah, it was a good movie. All right, cool. All right,
Thank you, Mary Jackson.
Hey, all right, so let me tell you about this guy, Walt Braithwaite. Okay, he's Jamaican born. Big up, massive.
Yes.
American engineer, and he's a former exec at Boeing. Okay, started at a low level position. He was just an associate tool engineer, but over the years, he showed his worth by taking on different projects and assisting other people, and they started to see his talents. And with that, they started giving him more responsibility. He's working on projects such as using or implementing CAD technology or other different type of computer things into commercial airplanes, because it wasn't like that before. Which is, I mean, if you even think about it, like when planes that's in the air, you have people's lives and stakes. People don't want to take too many risks. You know what I mean? Like if something works, let's just do it that way. You don't want to like design something and then, you know, try to implement it and then something might go wrong. So that's like a big thing to have on his shoulders, right?
Yeah.
And he did very well at it. He eventually rose to being the president of Boeing Africa in 2000. You know what I mean? And he started in 1966. So big up to Mr. Walter Braithwaite. I see you.
So I have another person. We have to acknowledge Lewis Howard Latimer. So for his career, he worked in the Edison Electric Light Company, who had the patent for the incandescent light bulbs.
Nice.
So one of the main parts of his career was actually patents. He worked as a draftsman for patents and became well known for it. So he was hired for a lot of those patent projects. And we all know that that's how these big companies be making their money.
Right.
Right? Because you own this particular design, chemical, whatever it is that you've produced or manufactured or created. And so nobody else can use it without giving you your cut, you know,
right.
Or they can't use it for a particular amount of time and then they still got to give you a cut. So that's what he did. That was one of the main things that he's known for. But also he worked on patents and worked on projects for the Bell's telephone. He developed a forerunner for the air conditioner called the apparatus for cooling and disinfecting.
Okay.
And apparently his home still stands, his old home still stands, and it's in Flushing, Queens. It's near the Latimer projects.
Oh, dope. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess those sounds like days that were really long ago. So to be able to like be involved in so many projects as a black man, I can only imagine like how
born in 1848, like so way back.
Right, that was before the Civil War.
Yeah,
you know?
he passed in 1928.
All right, big up to Mr. Latimer. I got another one for you. Ursula Burns. All right. All right. The first among all black women to become a CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
Wow.
Okay, she has an illustrious, very impressive. She was named to be a leader of the STEM program at the White House from 2009 to 2016. And she was also the head of the President's Export Council from 2015 to 2016 as well. So to become the first black female CEO of a Fortune 500 company, big up, Miss Ursula Burns.
You
That's
did
what's
it.
up. Good job, girl. Breaking that glass ceiling, shattering it.
My next person is Mark Dean. He was a computer scientist. It's actually been a minute since I've heard that sound.
I love and hate that sound.
Oh my gosh. And
for the nostalgia.
I could be aging myself now, but I can barely remember having to wait for my computer to start up anymore.
Oh, I remember.
That was a thing.
If I was online and someone called the crib, that's it. Disconnected. Oh man, I hated that.
Oh my gosh. But he was an inventor and computer engineer. He was a part of the team that developed the ISA bus. And honestly, the only bus I know is the public transportation mode that, you know, we all jump in and, you know, get to where we want to go. But apparently there's more to it than that.
There is. I would say like, so what I understand from a bus is, and so for ISA bus, I'm assuming like it's a piece of computer architecture that helps certain devices talk to other certain devices inside of a computer. So instead of wiring directly from one device to another, all the wiring goes to one central point. And then they all just talk to each other through that point. It's kind of like back in the day when you want to call someone as an operator, like who do I connect you to? And then, I want to call Papermate. I want to call D-Links and Drews. Okay, like, please hold. Exactly. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I remember seeing those in the movies. Okay, now I have a like little visual in my mind.
Right.
And he also led a design team for making the 1 gigahertz computer processor chip.
Damn.
And that was also at IBM. Yeah, so he was a really smart dude. And he was born in 1957. And he went to he went to the University of Tennessee, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was pretty interesting too. And he ended up at Stanford University, but he first went to University of Tennessee, then he went to Florida Atlantic University, and then he ended up at Stanford. And I'm telling you, he put in the work and he got where he wanted to go.
He got through it. Okay. So like, I think it's great that we're giving a lot of people their recognition. This guy probably didn't get as much recognition as he should have got, just based on his description of what I can read online. Like there isn't much on him, but I know he did so much more, but just from the context of all the highlights, you know what I mean? So it doesn't like highlight all the hard work he had to put in. But his name is William Hunter Dammond. All right, shout out to Mr. Dammond.
I like my little caricatures.
My I tried. So anyway, yeah. So he invented the railroad switching mechanism, and this enabled trains to change direction. And this is like a safety feature that I think I definitely did. I explained before something that the MTA was doing, like relay signals, so people can know if a train is on which track or how far they're going if they're too close apart. He developed an earlier version of something like that.
Okay.
And when I was reading about him, he even went over to Europe for a few years to develop that technology over there, and he really advocated for himself and his idea and trying to get other people to buy into it as well. He went to Philly, New York. He tried to get a lot of the big companies to accept his technology, because I'm sure people weren't advocating for him, right? So people weren't saying, hey, this guy Mr. Dammond, he had this really really good piece of technology that we could probably implement. No, he had to do it all himself, do all the footwork. He's also the first African American graduate from the University of Pittsburgh with a degree in civil engineering.
Cool.
All right.
I know Pittsburgh very well.
Right. And so we can definitely say that his invention revolutionized the transportation industry in more than one. I salute you, Mr. Dammond.
So my next person is Jerry Lawson.
Okay.
So I loved gaming as a kid, and I would say that this guy impresses me so much just because he earned the title of the father of modern gaming.
That's deep.
And I had no clue that we had such a prominent figure in gaming, especially in the beginning stages.
Out here.
We are everywhere. Exactly. This is not new what we do now. Okay. He was born in 1940 and unfortunately passed in 2011, but he was an American electric engineer, and he's known for his work designing the Fairchild Channel F video game console. So this is a part of like pioneering the commercial video game cartridge. You remember the,
Right.
So this is a part of
that worked too.
Yeah, come on
worked.
now. Now we have the little air things that you could like blow into it. You know what I'm talking about in the can?
Right.
But really impressive that I have such a lasting and amazing memory to the development that was only possible by this man, Jerry Lawson. So definitely look him up, and we can be these people. He went to Queens College, actually, in New York. So these are not people who are far removed from our own experiences. I know tons of people who go to Queens College. So it's just like, we can do these big things too.
Okay, cool. What was your favorite game?
Don't ask me that, but it was Spyro.
Hey, all right, that's a good game.
I liked Spyro as a kid. It was so awesome.
You checked it out. Okay, cool. So I want to give a shout out to the BX, coming out the BX, Miss Wanda M. Austin.
All right.
Okay, all right. She graduated from Bronx High School of Science. Okay, I couldn't get in. I didn't score high enough, so that's how I know she's legit. Okay. She also got her degree from the University of Pittsburgh. Then she went on to get her PhD as well. Okay.
She didn't stop.
She did not stop. She took her train all the way. I got off my bus on my train, but she took it all the way to the last stop, bro. Yeah, and she became a titan of industry in the field of aerospace as well. She's a former president and CEO of the Aerospace Corporation as well. And that's where she made a lot of big marks as well, starting from the bottom and after getting her doctorate as well.
Making it to the top.
Absolutely. So thank you for making our skies safer and better for everybody, and also taking another shatter through that glass ceiling. Miss Wanda M. Austin, shout out to you.
Shout out.
Yep.
I have a very special person as well, Kimberly Bryant.
Okay.
So she's an African-American electrical engineer, and she worked in biotechnology. She worked for Novartis, vaccines, diagnostics, and Merck, also Janine Tech. And then in 2011, she founded Black Girls Code.
Oh, that's her?
I know you've heard of Black Girls Code.
I've heard of Black
At this
Girls
point,
Code.
I feel like most people have heard of this company, and she is the founder and CEO. And the company is a nonprofit organization dedicated to changing the face of technology by introducing girls of color, ages 7 to 17, to the field of technology and computer science, with a concentration on entrepreneurial concepts. So it's like you want to create something and build something using the skills that you've learned within that organization, but also to build wealth for yourself, because that's what an entrepreneur is all about, you know. So I think that I really respect her, I would say, not only as a scientist and an owner and CEO of a company, but as a creative and a mind that's true to herself. She's very true to herself from what I can see. After she founded Black Girls Code, she was listed as one of the 25 most influential African Americans in technology by Business Insider.
I really like this one. This girl, she's kind of amazing. Miss Mae Carol Jemison. I don't know if you ever heard of her. 7 days,
I love it.
22 hours, and 30 minutes. That's how long she spent in space.
What?
Have you been to space?
No.
No. She's been to space. Okay, she don't got it. She can tell you all about it. All right? Born in Alabama, raised in Chicago. She went to Stanford University at the age of 16.
Whoa,
you know,
young.
She was doing dance recitals, plays. She got a degree in chemical engineering, which in my opinion is like one of the hardest disciplines.
Yeah, chemistry is no joke.
Engineering. I hate chemistry already. So to do chemical engineering,
joke,
I don't even really talk. I only know one chemical engineering student in my school. The rest I didn't talk to because I just didn't want the smoke. So, but and she also majored in African American studies while she was there as well.
Stayed true.
After she graduated with an engineering degree, she's like, you know what? Now let me switch this up. Let me go to med school and get my medical degree as well. Yeah, so she's a
overachiever.
Doctor. You know what I mean? Like she's just bored. So and then she got her medical degree from Cornell University.
Wow.
Then she applied and went to NASA, which goes back to the space thing, you know? And so she just has a long and very impressive resume.
Yeah.
And one thing I do want to note is that she did apply to NASA, according to some of the sources that I looked through, because she was inspired by Sally Ride, which was the first American woman in space, and Guion Bluford, hopefully I didn't butcher his name that badly, the first African American man in space as well.
Yeah.
So I think that really just goes to show you that it's important to expose people to different things, right? Because then when you see it, then you can see it for yourself as well. As it's easier to visualize it. Yeah. I think I want to wrap it up. You still owe me a Coke, but we're gonna circle back on that
We're gonna
later.
talk about that.
All right, cool.